The member for Dawson.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. I move the motion relating to the Carmichael Coal Mine and Rail project in the terms which it appears in the notice paper.
The member for Dawson.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm glad we're talking about jobs in North Queensland, or at least we were for a while before we moved on to Victoria, and that's very apt to what we're about to talk about right now. The Carmichael Coal project in Galilee Basin represents an enormous benefit for Queensland and Australia, raising billions of dollars in royalties and billions of dollars through income taxes and GST. The project will generate 10,000 direct and indirect jobs, an outcome the Greenies are desperate to downplay. I even had one of these extreme Greens write to me to tell me the project would create just 1.5 jobs. Well, the truth is Adani already employs 800 people in Queensland, even before a shovel has been put into the ground. Contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars will sustain employment not only in Queensland, North Queensland in particular, but other parts of the country, including the already announced $74 million deal to buy railway steel from Arium's Whyalla Steelworks in South Australia. Now, Townsville and Rockhampton will be home bases for workers who fly in and fly out to what is a very remote mine site, hundreds of kilometres and a mountain range away from the coastline. The Carmichael Coal project will open up the Galilee Basin, creating as many as 15,000 jobs across 5 potential mines, which is precisely why a multi-use rail line linking to the port should have been funded by the Northern Australia Infrastructure Facility, or at least financed. I note that Mackay is going to be a logistics hub for this project, and Bowen is going to be the railway hub for the project, so spreading those jobs right across our region. In India, coal from the Galilee Basin will provide hundreds of millions of people with power, bringing them out of energy poverty, families that have no electricity at all and suffer all the ill health effects of burning dung and other such substances in their homes, the only alternative energy source they have. But none of these benefits are supported by the Greens, and none of them seem to be supported by Labor. Labor doesn't support these jobs. Labor doesn't support workers having these jobs in Townsville, Rockhampton, Mackay or Bowen. They don't support the mining service companies that are in Mackay that want the work. They don't support the Whyalla Steelworks that want the work. They don't support the infrastructure and economic growth that comes from this project. They don't even support the massive revenue boost that both state and federal governments will get from the opening up in the Galilee Basin. So it's no wonder that unions are bleeding members when Labor's doing this. Workers don't want to waste the money they earn from their job to fund a party that is out to destroy that job. Asked again and again and again. The Leader of the Opposition has refused to support the Adani project. His weasel words are that the project must stack up commercially and environmentally. And then he says Labor is increasingly sceptical, and today's revelation, if true, is extremely disturbing, and if Adani is relying on false information, that mine does not deserve to go ahead. It wasn't false information, but here is. The mine doesn't deserve to go ahead. The business community can translate those weasel words into English, and they know that if a weasel says he's increasingly sceptical, then he doesn't support it. It just means he doesn't have the guts to come out and say it, because he knows that in doing so, he's shafting thousands of workers in Queensland. His Shadow Environment Minister filled in the blanks when he said of the Adani project, "I have a very clear view that the economics of Adani don't stack up, and it would not be a positive thing for Australia for the Adani mine to go ahead." Not a positive thing. Well, the project is already stacked up. It has passed all the environmental approvals that the government gives. So his comment is just a personal view about not wanting the project to go ahead. Even in Queensland, where the most benefits from the coal mine will come, Labor opposes the mine in favour of Green votes. It was the Queensland Labor government itself that applied for the Northern Australia Infrastructure Facility loan to build the railway line in the Galilee Basin, and then under pressure from inner-city Green voters, the Premier, Anastasia Palaszczuk, vetoed the loan and withdrew support for Adani. Labor's federal MPs and senators are also forthright in their lack of support for these jobs. Senator Singh has said, "I believe the Adani coal mine is a big mistake for this country," a Labor senator. The member for Charlton is going to speak on this. Member for Shortland is going to speak. Said, "Hunter coal mining jobs are endangered by the Adani project." The member for Gellibrand took it further, saying the reality is the Adani coal mine has always been something that regional Queenslanders know well, snake oil. Labor's federal leader has even described the employment opportunities being created by Adani as fake jobs. Well, I can assure them they're real. There's 200 workers receiving pay packets in Townsville. It would be good if the member for the Townsville area, the member for Herbert, spoke up for them.
Expired. Is the motion seconded? I thank the member and call the member for Shortland.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I rise proudly to speak on this motion because yet again we have seen myths being peddled by the member for Dawson. Let's look at some facts, Madam Deputy Speaker. Fact 1, global coal consumption peaked in 2013. Fact 2, Chinese coal consumption has fallen by nearly 4%. Fact 3, Indian coal imports, so imports of coal to India, have fallen considerably. Fact 4, global seaborne thermal coal volumes, which is the main Australian thermal coal market because we ship our coal via the seaborne trade routes, peaked in 2013 and have fallen every year, Madam Deputy Speaker. The global coal thermal trade market has declined every year since 2013. The market for thermal coal globally is declining. That is not contested by any serious economic commentator in this area, Madam Deputy Speaker. So we've got a declining coal market, and the proposal from the member for Dawson and the rest of the coalition is $1 billion subsidy to open up new supply that threatens existing coal mines in my region, Madam Deputy Speaker. I have 18,000 coal miners in the Hunter region. And if we subsidise competition into a declining market, by definition, you are imposing competition that will drive down coal prices and threaten the livelihood of those 18,000 coal miners. And I'm proud to stand up to support those coal miners. My neighbour's a coal miner. My kids go to childcare with coal miners. My local footy team is packed to the rafters with coal miners watching, playing and sponsored by a coal company. I'm proud that we've been mining coal in the Hunter region since 1799. Ironically, the first coal dug up was exported to India. I'm proud of all those facts and I'll stand up for them in this place and say I don't support $1 billion subsidy that threatens their job, Madam Deputy Speaker, because this is all this is about. And I won't be lectured to about support for coal miners by these people. I don't see them at the Northern District's Miners' Memorial that occurs every year in Cessnock that commemorates the 1,800 workers that have died in coal mines in the Hunter region. Miners as young as 11, as old as 76 who died in those coal mines. I've never seen a single coalition representative at that memorial, even though the member for New England's electorate has many Hunter coal mines in it, Madam Deputy Speaker. So this is rank hypocrisy by the coalition. And that doesn't amaze me, Madam Deputy Speaker. They profess a love of Queensland, but this is the party, the Brisbane line. This is the party that supported not defending anywhere north of Brisbane during World War II. This is the party that's proud of the corrupt Joh Bjelke-Petersen regime that destroyed Queensland for 20 years. So this is all weasel words from a government that has nothing to say on this region of substance, Madam Deputy Speaker. Oh, come on.
The member seeks a point of order.
Does he support the mine or not?
I thank the member. That's not a point of order. The member will
Thank you. And it shows that I've hit a sensitive note there, Madam Deputy Speaker, that he's been forced to take spurious points of order. Let's go back to the facts, Madam Deputy Speaker. $1 billion subsidy is a bad idea. I do not support it. I do not support it at all because it threatens Hunter coal mining jobs, Madam Deputy Speaker. I support our existing coal mines. They've got a long life. 65% of Australia's trade in coal is in metallurgical coal, coking coal, and that's got a strong future. But thermal coal trade globally is declining, and we need to be cognizant of the fact and make sure we've got plans in place for a transition that should take decades. But the most important thing we owe to coal miners and the communities that depend upon them is honesty. Honesty to say that change is coming, honesty to say that we will work with you over the decades where that change is occurring to transition your industry and the communities that depend upon you. Because the easiest thing for a politician to do in this place is to lie to people, to put your head in the sand and say change isn't coming. Well, change is coming, Madam Deputy Speaker. As I said, global coal consumption peaked in 2013. It is declining every year, and we need to be honest with our communities. And I'll end where I began by saying that I'm proud to represent a coal community. I'm proudly embedded in that community. I recognise the wealth that coal delivered to my region for 200 years. But we need to face up the facts, stop peddling lies, stop giving people false hope, and stop trying to subsidise a Queensland project that imperils the 18,000 coal miners in my community.